Wake up, Jacob. IP here. Listen, I just wanted to come on real quick. A lot of things been going on over the last couple of weeks. Different things as we try to prepare. And first, one person had asked me, why the name change to the banner, things like that. And that's the point of the video. To everything, there is a season. And in light of all the things that are occurring in the news with Hebrew Israelite and things like that, that's my faith. I know what I believe. You can call it, Messianic Hebrew and stuff like that. But again, just like the term Christian, right, which is supposed to be just Christ follower, has been tainted, then what's starting to happen is the term Hebrew Israelite or Black Hebrew Israelite is becoming tainted because of the actions of the few. And it's becoming, which in turn could become dangerous later down the line. And does that mean, I don't have the faith of the Hebrew, that, I don't, that I'm not a commandment keeper or anything? Nothing could be further from the truth. Of course, I believe in the commandments. I believe in keeping the commandments. I believe in the Messiah. I don't believe the law is done away with or anything like that. Shalom, shalom, brother, Ronnie Rayner. I still believe in all those things. But to everything, there's a season, right? There's a time when we have to do certain things. Let me back that up a little bit. If you go to Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything. Time to live, time to die, time to, do everything. Happy, some time to laugh, time to cry, time to mourn, there's a time for everything. And so what you have to do is decide for yourself, what season is it for you? Now, we can always interpret the signs, for ourselves, and someone can say, it's a time for this, it's a time for that. But the question is it the time? What time is it for you? What season are you in? Shalom, Brother Stockton. And so that's what we're, so that's what I'm really talking about. So the reason why I changed, the border, on the site and all this other stuff, because I think this whole idea of, Black Hebrew Israelite, things like that, I have no problem with Black Hebrew Israelite, okay? Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Tracy. Shalom to you and to your head, Brother Frank Stockton. It's that if you're not ready for what's to come, then obviously you don't want to be targeted or in a line of fire, right? Like I was saying, this whole, you remember, the label, Christianity, which simply is just supposed to be a Christ follower, right? But it's supposed to be good. But I think we can all agree that it's pretty much tainted. It's pretty much taken over, right? There's really, technically we're Christians if we're Messianic, but we cannot redeem the name. There's nothing we can do about it, right? Now, as an Israelite now, I don't believe that's a faith. Obviously, that's a people. That's a people. It's a culture. So I understand that. It's a bloodline. I get that. But is it heading in a direction? Is it starting to get tainted? And you have to decide that for yourself, right? You have to decide that for yourself. But the reason why I'm saying that is because we have to count the costs, right? If you have some people out there behaving in such a way that isn't becoming of the Hebrew Israelite, or giving you or giving us, undue attention, and we just don't need those kind of problems, especially those who are not out just yet, because I'm not out just yet, but we're transitioning into that. We're not ready, and the Scripture tells us to count the costs, to make sure you are ready, that you're ready for this transition. So something goes down right now, I'm not ready. Right? So I don't want to put myself or my family in the crosshairs, because you got a lot of people, who they're just ready. They're ready to, hey, they want to rage war, right? I'm not ready to rage war, okay? And we have to consider the cost. In fact, one of the scriptures, let's see here. Okay, so if we look at, if you will, if we look at Luke 14 and 26, right? Starting there at 26, it said, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple, right? So obviously, he's talking about, putting him first. A lot of people are going to come into this faith, and they're gonna lose something. They're gonna lose husband, wife, children, things like that. People are not going to see it your way. You're going to be perceived as taking it too literal or fanatic or anything like that. But anyway, you're going to lose some people, right? And he said, and whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So if you're not able to go through these, if you're not willing to go through the tribulation, then you can't be one of his disciples, right? But we're gonna continue on, right? And he said, for which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish it. Okay, so you began this walk, a little tribulation coming your way, and then you go run back to Christianity or paganism, because you're not ready, right? But now let's go to the things that have been happening over the last couple of weeks, where the Hebrew Israelite or Black Hebrew Israelite, they're starting to say terms like domestic terrorists and terrorist group and hate group and things like that, right? And some people, like I said, they're ready to go out there and go to war, right? So it says in 31, it says, or what king going to make war against another king does not sit down first and consider whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000, or else while the other is still a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever of you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple. Okay, so if you're not ready and you're not on your homestead yet, you're not, you don't have all the things that are considered for homesteading, your food, water, shelter, security, sanitation, waste, all these different type of things, power, energy. If you're not ready, then don't put yourself in a line of fire. Don't put yourself, you want to, you want to distance yourself. I'm saying that if you're not ready, if you're gung-ho and you want to just go out there and just, that's on you, okay? But my goal is to get ready and to live peaceably with all men. Why? Because I care about the safety of my family. I care about the safety and prosperity of my posterity. So that's just me. So if you are, want to live in peace or whatever, that's why I just kind of said, okay, now, you know what? I'm talking mutual assistance group, that type of thing. Now, let me deal with that just a little bit and I will end this particular video. Now, when you get out in the community, okay, it's like a ministry and there's one central figure and, there are some hard and fast rules, or there should be some hard and fast rules and guidelines and code of conduct. Obviously should be Torah, should be the base of that. And you go from there. You follow, a leader, an elder, pastor, whatever, like that. Now, a mutual assistance group may have some rules and some guidelines and some things like that, some code of conduct too. They may not be the same. They may most of the rules will probably be the same or similar, right? But again, everyone does have their autonomy. When they go to their land, they have their own autonomy. You're the patriarch of that land. You do that, right? But you can come together. The men, the patriarchs, can come together. Kind of like in a council setting or whatever. No different than like Book of Judges and things like that. And you come into a council type setting, and you can agree on policy and how we're going to conduct, right? But everyone still has their autonomy, right? Now, that can get messed up when someone does something, overt, like if you, just blatantly violate, Torah and or by extension, the rules that you've already agreed upon, right? So if you have that, then of course, you just have no more fellowship with that person. You want to put the evil from among you. But again, as a mutual assistance group, it's just a good idea to be able to come together and still have all things in common, right? So it's all about the group as a whole. It's all about assisting one another, It makes meaning, like, for instance, the things that you grow and have. You don't have to. I mean, it's kind of hard to have everything, right? One person, one family having everything that's possibly needed on a homestead. But if you grow staple crops and a few other things, and another family grows a few staple crops and a few other things that's different from yours, then now you can barter, now you can deal with each other, different things like that. Some people may have, may have a well-equipped slaughterhouse or something like that. Then hey, you have that. Some people, some homesteads will have cows and some won't, so on and so forth. I think you guys get the idea. But again, what you want to do is you just want to be wise. You want to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay, because you're not putting together everything to go to war or anything like that. You're trying to have a long homestead. You're trying to build your tribe. You're trying to live peaceably. You're trying to have a mutual assistance group. You're trying to assemble, and you're trying to do this until the Messiah comes or you go to sleep, whichever one comes first, right? So we just have to be wise in our dealings and wise in what we're doing. Okay, it's not it's not you denouncing your faith or anything like that. Don't do that. No, you ought to obey God. You be proud of who you are. You understand your faith. Not always necessary that you have to advertise it 24/7 or whatever. You know who you are in the Messiah. So it's up to you. You have to decide the season that you're in, and you have to decide how you're going to proceed. It's completely up to you. Okay, it's completely up to you. Some people may have a macho bravado and be like, hey, whatever comes, and some may have a devil may care attitude. That's fine, but you have to decide for yourself what's it going to be. Okay, is it going to be whatever comes, or you're going to try to live, if at all possible, try to live in peace. So that's completely up to you. It's your choice. But I do know this: when it comes to Israel, we don't have to make trouble. Trouble's coming our way regardless. We don't have to add to it. We don't have to add to our affliction. It's coming anyway. It's going to come anyway. So you may want to get prepared for that, for the things that are coming regardless, and not the things that you are inviting on yourself and inviting to your front door. Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and hopefully give you guys some encouragement and a couple of things to think about, just some food for thought. So again, that's the reason why. To everything is a season, but also we all got to count the cost. We all have to count the cost. All right. So if you guys have any other insight or anything, hey, put it in the comment section below. Like, comment, share with other people. Let's talk about it. And until next time, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do a live stream. We'll continue to talk about the business of homesteading. So join me tomorrow for the business of homesteading, part 2. We're gonna talk more business, some more ideas, things that we can do and come up with as far as homesteading is concerned. In the meantime, get your skills up, do what you got to do to get ready to come out. I'm talking to those who are in the transition of coming out. So do what you got to do. Do your research. Do your research. Get your skills up. Things like that. Now, right now, it being January, it's possible. But I was looking at some of the training schools, homesteading schools, classes, building, framing, animal husbandry, butchering and tanning. I was looking at all this stuff, and man, in the dead season, this January, February, not even March, but around April, like when it really starts to get warm in the spring, that's when these classes all over the country really start to open up, and you're able to do some things. So right now, it's study, it's doing whatever you can do in your backyard if you have a backyard. I don't. Anything you can do, watching, some YouTube videos, and if you're able to buy things and store them away, there's certain things you can do. Okay, if you're going to buy some precious metals, you can do that. Certain things you can do, but it is limited. It is limited of the things you can do as far as prep work. But again, you can study and get your skills up the best way you can. But to really get into it, it's probably not going to be till the spring. Okay, so you have that. You can do a lot of planning. Like I'm journaling and putting a lot of things down. So when I do get to my destination, I have a plethora of things that I need to get done. Okay, So again, with that, join me tomorrow. If I say noon out here, because I'm out in the west, it's going to be a little bit later in the evening for you guys, like between 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow. The business of homesteading. Shalom, shalom. Stay woke, Israel.